And number 40, Xavier Wilson with the pass and the catch. And it's 2nd and 9 for the Blue Devils. If you're just joining us, thank you from the Conneaut side, as we kind of had some issues getting in here, but we appreciate Independence High School for hosting us. And the run by number 5, the quarterback for the Blue Devils, takes it up the middle. Rocco Wrestler. And picks up a new first down, fresh set, as Independence is moving the ball with authority. First down, Blue Devils, and they've turned 3 of them so far now with ease. And that's a timeout called by Coach Rocco, and Conneaut will take a brief timeout here. Thank you again for joining us on the Conneaut side. Ben Jarvie out at Independence High School. It's Stan Skozen Stadium, home of the Blue Devils in Independence, Ohio, just south of Cleveland. Alongside me, my wife, Ann Jarvie, working the camera. Appreciate every bit of help I can get from family and friends, and this one means an extra special bit tonight as we're here. It's a beautiful night for football. Got 76 degrees and sunny. So it's going to be a beautiful weekend. If you got plans this Labor Day, please enjoy them. Huh. What? I don't, just zoom in. Ty Colville with the stop against Skozen. And that's going to bring up 2nd down. And number 5 with the carry again. That's Rocco Wrestler rolling around left towards the near sideline. It's tackled out of bounds. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long for the Blue Devils. They were making huge headway there. Start out early in the game. Now it seems like they're slowing down a bit. And it's going to bring up 3rd and long. And it pass intended for Cy Jolliffe on the far sideline, incomplete. That's bringing up 4th and 9 for the Blue Devils. That's a tough decision for them to make here, and as they're making pretty big strides towards the touchdown, now they're going to have a major consideration on the 27-yard line. Rick Adams looking like he's probably going to kick this one, with Wrestler lined up in the punt formation, or is it a long shotgun? Okay, he's going long shotgun. And Wrestler, he fumbles the ball, drops it himself. I think he fell back on it, but that's going to be a turnover on downs. Did not get back to the line of scrimmage, and turnover, Conneaut Spartans ball on the 30-yard line. Kind of an oopsies by Wrestler, and fortunate turn of events for Conneaut, as nothing was also developing downfield. And the rollout, that's going to Wyatt Payne, and up the middle, firing on all cylinders, and he's up to the past the 40. That's a first down, Conneaut Spartans. That one brought to you by University Hospital, Conneaut Medical Center. They're advancing the science of health and the art of compassion for over 100 years. Stop in today and see University Hospital in Conneaut. And second down, the run to Wyatt on the handoff goes for no yards. And on a big play up the middle, that's Max Gleason. And up the middle, that old Max razzle-dazzle that he knows and plays so well, that goes for a huge chunk yardage play. Almost 20 yards past midfield up to the 44. And first down, Wyatt Payne bursting through up the middle, and it's another first down, back-to-back plays. Wyatt Payne, first down, brought to you by Conneaut Dairy Queen. Check out the feature Blizzard of the Month, and the Brazier Burgers are always good for all occasions. Stop in today, tonight. It's going to be a beautiful weather weekend, so enjoy the ice cream and the great food at your local Conneaut DQ. We love Keith and the whole gang, and we love paying it back to them. It looks like we have an injury timeout on the field on that play against Independence, so they're down, and he's getting up. Number 7 getting up slow, but he's coming off fine right now. And first down again, Conneaut. Another handoff to Wyatt. Good run on the far side, but he stopped maybe about 5 or 6. Pickup. Again, thank you for joining us again. Ben Jarvie in Independence, Ohio, Stan Cozen Stadium. Beautiful night for football, 76 and sunny tonight. And handoff, this one's to Ty Colville on the right side. Getting dragged, but he's dragging one player down with him. And that's going to be a first down and more, but maybe it's a hold call, and it might be coming back. And after the confusion from the penalty call, it's going to be second down and 7 as it moved back 5 from the spot of the foul. And the ball's at the 25. And Max with a keeper on the far side. And he's shaking one guy, and he slips and falls down, touchdown, by number 4 for the Blue Devils. That is Sam Bernhard. And second down, carry up the middle. Was that Xavier Wilson with a stop? That was Max again with the keeper. And that's going to be first down. Conneaut again. Ball's at the 15. It's spotted. Conneaut moving their way down towards the first down. We got 5:35 left to go in this quarter. Oh, and some movement on the Independence side, but handoff to Wyatt. And right up the middle for another chunk yardage play, and it's close to a first down. Rocco Ressler, the quarterback, making the stop. So it's 2nd and 2, we'll call it. Ball's at the 6, heavy 6, maybe 7. Under 5 left to go in the quarter. And another handoff by Wyatt up the middle. And he's knocked down. It's going to be a first down, Conneaut, but he's down close to the end zone. Goal line's just a couple yards away. And that's where they're going to mark it. First and, yeah, on the 3. That's where it's marked. Suns into their backs as Conneaut. It's going to hand off to Wyatt up the middle, and it's a touchdown for Conneaut. 6-0 Conneaut. Easy moving the ball downfield and takes an easy 6-0 lead over the Blue Devils early in this game with 4:26 left to go in the first quarter. That touchdown brought to you by Conneaut Savings Bank. Stop and ask about online and mobile banking. They make banking transactions fast and easy. CSB in Conneaut and in Austinburg. And this extra point by Bryce Sperlin as he keeps his kicking masquerade intact. That one's good as well. Bryce Sperlin, if you remember, was our player of the game last week. Dairy Queen player of the game, that is, with that awesome 40-yard kick. Coach Rocco, we'll replay the coach's show at halftime if you missed it on the radio, and on the stream we will play it for the first time. But you can listen in that. Coach Rocco gave Bryce a lot of praise for last week's play. He really shined when we needed it, and that 40-yard kick was amazing. But it was more than that, just the hardiness of Bryce to hang in there, make the kick after he'd already come out with an ankle injury to the right leg, the right ankle, which is a kicking leg too. So kind of remarkable when you put all that together. And Bryce is going to be kicking this one off. And it's a line drive kick. Picked up by, that is Ressler. And he's cutting between players, and he gets a nice return. And he's dropped just shy of the 40. First down, Blue Devils. You gotta love the spirit. As we were just talking about before, Bryce Sperlin, great game last week. Defense, he had a couple passes on offense as well too. Involved in the kicking game, definitely as well some. And he just was really the guy other than Max that shined last week in that upsetting loss to Western Reserve, and it was kind of a heartbreaker as well. But we always look for the next game, as Coach Rocco says, is 1 week at a time, one Friday night at a time. The run by Xavier Wilson goes for over 10, maybe 13 yards, and that's a first down for Independence.
14-yard gain on the play. First down, Blue
So we didn't mention we're actually outside the press box. We're right just below the press box on the top row of seats. But you know what? It's a beautiful night, and we're quite happy out here. We're making the best of it, right? Yes. I'm going to get my wife. I'm going to get her a headset. We'll get her involved in the coach's show at half. Okay. And the handoff to Xavier Curry going on the left side this time. That's going to go around the end and drag down. And the refs missed the horse collar tackle, but it's another first down for the Blue Devils. They're playing very well offensively, running the ball between Wrestler and Curry.
11-yard gain on the play. First down.
Wilson, I'm sorry. Xavier Wilson. I said Xavier Curry. Yeah, as I said, we'll run the coach's show at half. We're sorry because of the delay. We did not get it up. And the ball's out, slips out on the handoff to Wilson. Conneaut says they got it. Ty Colville signaling. The whole pile. That Hooya. And it's Conneaut Spartans' ball on the turnover. And it comes up with it. Ethan Osborne's down on the bottom of the pile. And that's going to be a turnover. Slipped out of the hands of Wilson, and Osborne comes up with it. Conneaut Spartans' ball on the 35-yard line, 36. That turnover brought to you by Conneaut Save-A-Lot Food Store. Not lower quality, just the lowest prices. They got the best deals all around. Stop in this weekend with the holiday coming up. Get some nice ribeyes on sale now. A lot of great deals. Chicken thighs, chicken breast. Always a good deal in bundles. Fresh produce, always. Stop in to Conneaut Save-A-Lot Food Store this weekend on West Main Road in the plaza. And fake handoff on the play action. Max keeps it. He's trying to break away. Great speed. And that play goes for over 20 yards. He's up past the 45. He's almost to the 40 on the Independent side of the field. Conneaut's running with ease. You got to give Independence credit. They're moving the ball pretty well, too. Unfortunately, they've had a couple missteps when they've gotten close down towards the end zone, both at about the 30, 35-yard line on their two drives so far. Just under 3 minutes left to go in this quarter. So I got to update the score, too. And a run by Wyatt Payne up the middle.
Wyatt Payne, the ball carrier, brought down by number 40, Xavier Wilson.
Xavier Wilson with the stop, and it's a four-yard gain, so 2nd and 6 to come. And the handoff, and it goes for no yards. Wyatt just dragged right down. Maybe he got a half of a yard, but it's going to be 3rd and 5 or so upcoming. Good blitz on the ends from the defensive backs. Good speed. As we talked about with this team, not necessarily huge on size. I think we got them definitely on size on the line, but smaller guys, but they move really quick, like Wrestler and Wilson have already showed so far. Deep pass to Bryce Sperlin, going long with it, and it's incomplete. Bryce wasn't quite fast enough, and Max just let it sail a little too far. It's incomplete. Turnover. I'm sorry, not turnover. It'll bring up 4th down, and most likely they will punt, but you might see something, a little razzle-dazzle upcoming by Coach Rocco with the score 7-0. Looks like they might. It's in shotgun formation with Max in shotgun, Wyatt on his left side. Oh, man, they jumped off sides, it looks like. It's definitely a flag on someone. Yeah, it's encroachment against Independence, probably.
Flag on the play.
Coach Rocco really pulled a fast one on him for sure.
Offsides on the Blue Devils.
And that'll get him right up to the 1st down. Not quite there, though. So it's 4th and a half, or 4th and a quarter. inches to go. And now Coach Rocco feels pretty good about his chances for going for it. Or is it a first down? They are just giving it to him. Okay, they were slow on giving that one. I thought it was like 4th and short, but they just give it to him, and it's a Conneaut Spartans first down. How about it, hun? Mm-hmm. And the run, handoff. I'm sorry, it's Max with the keeper up the middle, and he's staying up, but finally goes down. Good pickup for Max, 8-yard gain on the play. Max gains about an average 8 to 10 yards on that run up the middle. Pretty impressive with his speed. And, you know, as we said too, Max, I mean, he's not a very big guy. He's only 5'7", but he's goes about 165. So he gained about 15 pounds since last year, all muscle really. And he's very strong and quick. So he's very versatile. Definitely still developing his throwing mechanics, but he's a great athlete. And he's really the driver of the offense for this Conneaut Spartans team. And Max is going to keep it again, and he's breaking ahead. That's a Conneaut Spartans first down again. He falls out of bounds about the 10-yard line.
Brought down by Rocco Wrestler.
And that one, that first down brought to you by Chris Breck State Farm Insurance. Consider bundling your insurance coverage and saving money. Call Chris Brecht this weekend, 593-1191, or when he's back in the office probably after the holiday. Call him up because we got things to consider. Chris Brecht looks out for you and your family, and he's just looking out for your best interests. So give him a call and try to figure out what works best for you, 593-1191. And that's a Conneaut Spartans touchdown again, the second so far tonight, both for Wyatt Payne. Conneaut goes up 13-0 on the run from 10 out by Wyatt Payne. Nothing really fancy about that play, but just took it right in off the right tackle. Good blocking by the guys up front. Dylan Phillip and Scotty Edwards and the guys, and it really worked out for Conneaut. Moving the ball with great clips here. And it's a timeout Conneaut before they kick the ball. Okay, so Conneaut takes a quick timeout before they kick this extra point. That touchdown now brought to you by Conneaut Sub Shop. Stop in now and get the best deal around on all your pizza and sub. We've always been looking out for them. We're also neighbors with them, so we appreciate them looking out for us as well. And give them a slight plug here. And always looking out for Conneaut Sub Shop, pizza and sub. Great wing deals as well. Spaghetti dinners, great deal. Tastes great. Open late. You can't beat it. Yep. And kind of slow here coming out of the touchdown, out of the timeout rather.
I don't want to like disrupt the crowd, but I didn't want to not come say hi.
And Bryce is getting set up with Ethan Osborne being the holder. I think Scotty Edwards is the long snapper. He's going to get it set. And it's a flag thrown before the kick. So probably false start on Conneaut. Yep. And that's going to move it back on the kick, which makes it quite a bit harder. But you know what? Bryce just made one last week from way farther out than this, so we can really not worry too much about this try. And Conneaut still up with a 13-0 lead. Got about 29 seconds left in this quarter, folks. And it feels like Conneaut's already just controlling the game. And the kick is up, and it is No good. He pulled it left. So that is no go. That breaks Bryce's streak. And, unfortunately, it definitely did affect him with having that penalty on the false start, bringing it back 10 yards. So it'll remain 13-0 Conneaut, still with a 2-touchdown lead and only 29 seconds left to go in this first quarter. As we go back to last week, Wyatt, of course, had that great game last week. 200 total yards and 256 rushing yards. Is third in Ashtabula County behind number 2 Max at 327 rushing yards. So you can be impressed with Conneaut so far in the county, really dominating so far on the ground attack. Still working on the passing game. Definitely did not really have any breakout plays. Had the one pass to Ethan Osborne that was completed for 71 yards, but was called back because of a hold, I believe. So, it was a legal motion, rather. So we had a couple heartbreaks on the passing game that did not go as planned, and Coach Rocco mentions that in the coach's show, which again I will say we will recap in the halftime. We will play it right before the the Conneaut Save-A-Lot halftime show, and we'll recap it then. And this one's picked up at about the 10-yard line. Good kick by Bryce, and number 20 carrying it up the field. That is Charlie Puklevic.
48-yard kick with a 19-yard return by Charlie Puklevic.
Puklevic.
First down.
There we go.
Double.
As we did mention, too, you can tell, by the way, how beautiful the field is, well, folks. Artificial turf out there. Conneaut has not played on turf so far this season, and they seem like they're handling it pretty well. They're cutting and moving pretty good. Got to watch out for some injuries. Sometimes you can plant your cleat into it, and you twist an ankle or a knee, and it can be pretty bad. It's not quite the same. It's not as slippery as grass, so you can get more traction, but also that can also be sometimes a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. And the run by Rocco Wrestler goes for maybe one, but dragged down by Ethan Osborne and the crew on that far sideline. Corey Pearson and those guys over there in that direction. And that's going to end the first quarter with the score, Conneaut Spartans 13, Blue Devils 0. We'll take this brief timeout here on WOW Media and come back for more after this. As you're coming back in just to start the second quarter on WOW Media, 1360 and 102.9 FM, and 1360 WOW Sports on YouTube and Facebook. There's a penalty on the play, on the first play coming out of the break. I think it's a hold against the Blue Devils, and yeah, we'll be going back. Play did not really seem to develop anyway. Oh, so they actually declined it because of the loss of yardage. So it was a screen pass it actually ended up going for a loss of maybe 5. So Conneaut, instead of accepting it, declines the penalty, and they'll take the loss. Yeah, it'll be 3rd down and about 13, I'd say. And Wrestler dropping back. He's going to throw a little comeback curl route over to number 3, and he's dragged down by a gang tackle of Scotty Edwards and the guys over there, Noah Sigley. I'm sorry, that's not right. Nope. Yeah, that is Noah Sigley. I'm sorry. Correct, Noah Sigley. Good stop. Just on Chuck Guglielmo's show as well, too. I saw that interview. Very good one. And that's going to bring up 4th down and 9. That was only a pickup of maybe 3 or 4. Conneaut's been mostly snuffing them out. They pulled off some pretty athletic plays because Wrestler's got some pretty good ability, as does Wilson. But seems like it's been mostly held in check so far. And the kick is blocked and picked up by, and then recovered by Conneaut. Blocked by number 64. Wow. Ryan Turner, I think, got his hand on that one. Came up with it. Great play on defense. And then recovered the tip as well, too. And that's just going to completely put Conneaut right in money-making position here to score another touchdown. They get the ball at the 36-yard line. Kick went for maybe about 5 yards, just hit the line and flipped up in the air just a couple more, and then was picked up by Ryan Turner, who I believe was the one who got his hand on it. And Conneaut is set up beautifully early in the 2nd quarter. And a low snap to Max. He's throwing left side, and it's complete. Over on the near sideline to Noah Ham. I believe that's Noah Ham's first catch in a game so far this year. And that's going to go for about 7 yards. Good connection from Max to Noah. Noah's a pretty good weapon to have. Good hands. Pretty quick guy. Little quick guy. Working on the outside. Probably works also very well in the slot as well. I still believe that probably most likely his favorite target is going to be Bryce or a couple other guys. Ethan Osborne's probably going to be his main target, as we saw last week. It didn't really work out. Another pass, but looks like Max is keeping it, and he's rolling out far right side. And he gets flipped over by one defender, but he goes for almost 30 yards all the way down to the goal line. Puklevic with a tackle down low near the shoestrings. Conneaut picks up almost 30 yards and about 22 on that gain by Max. He's having a great game so far. And it's 1st and goal, Conneaut at the 8-yard line. 1st down, Conneaut. That one brought to you by Conneaut Dairy Queen. Enjoy lunch or dinner soon. A cool treat as well during the Labor Day weekend. Fall's right around the corner too, so you got the pumpkin pie menu coming out. And who can't beat the Conneaut DQ on a great weekend like this, right? And a screen pass goes to Thad Huya and doesn't really work out. Comes and actually Conneaut loses a couple yards on that one. About 9 minutes left to go and the clock's running. And then the shotgun, Max is set. And low snap, and he kind of fakes the handoff, but it's not fooling these guys. And it's tipped by the defender. That was Puklevic and a couple of the other guys. And it's going to bring up 3rd and long for Conneaut. Also have to make it in the end zone for this to, to get something out of this here. Can't get a 1st down. Might also see another Bryce Spurlin field goal try if this one doesn't work out. Ball's at the 10. Independence looking like they're not lined up properly. They're switching guys. And the handoff is to Wyatt, and he's fighting up the middle. He gets about 4 or 5, but It's not going to quite be there. And we'll see whether Coach Rocco goes for it all or he gets Bryce out there to kick a field goal and make it 16-0. I mean, I wouldn't have any fear in letting Bryce kick. It's a 6-yard touchdown play. Whatever your best 6-yard play is, if you go for it, looks like they might. They're not changing anybody out, so it looks like they're going to stay on and go for a 4th down try for a 7-point or 6-point play, rather. Can't assume it's a full 7 as we're sitting at 13-0 so far. Yep. Timeout called by Independence. Right before the snap, they're trying to ice him a little bit, and maybe they weren't set all lined up properly. So they're going to call the guys over.
Let's welcome our youth Blue Devil cheerleaders out there on the track tonight.
As we're just coming out of that timeout. Fourth and goal. Ball's on the 6. Wyatt behind Max, and it's a flip out to Wyatt. And he slips past the tackle, but he's not going to make it. And it's going to be stopped just shy, about at the 3-yard line. Independence seemed like they were ready for that one on a rollout to one corner or the other, and they snuffed that one out. And it'll be turnover on downs going back to Independence.
Blue Devils take over on down. First down, Blue Devils.
I can say that this was definitely
I know, that's
good
what,
night
I mean,
for
that's
her.
what I do too. That's also
She
because
thinks she's
when I
gonna
call
sleep
it,
good.
I'm like, also, I have to move it while I'm calling it, but I have to pay attention to the game too. I know, I don't have that. I could get a whole new thing. My dad wishes I had one, but
And on first down, it's a deep pass and almost stopped. Thad Huya goes up to block that one. It's kind of a lob pass intended for Sam Crooks with the intended target. 6'4", 153. Guys built like a beanstalk. They haven't so far connected with him though tonight. And they're going to have to find ways to get the ball downfield to those players. And on second down, near the goal line, Conneaut stops that run up the middle. Xavier Wilson with the run, and stopped by Arcaro with the stop. He had a pretty active game last week, making stops on all sides of the field, playing as a sophomore on that line. It'll bring up 3rd and long. Ball's at the 2 after that 1-yard loss. And from shotgun, Wrestler's looking like he's going to throw it, but he's rolling out, keeping it himself. And he slips past Bryce, and it looked like a hold against Independence. But if it's not, then it is a first down. But they did throw a flag, and I'm sure it's a hold. I think it was a hold against number 3. Was holding Max, I believe, or it was Ethan. I think it was Ethan, actually. That was Tyler Miller. who is playing the wide out on the near side here. And yep, it's gonna be that, and it will get marked off. The foul was committed at the 13. Probably wasn't going to go for necessarily a first down if the hold did not happen, but it was close. It was close to a 10-yard pickup, if not. But they're going to march it back to the 7, 5 yards back from where the foul happened. And it'll be 3rd and 6, we'll call it. And Wrestler's looking to drop back, but he's flushed out of the pocket, and he flips a pass, and he completes it downfield for a first down. One of the first completions of the night for both teams of significant yardage. That was Cy Jolliffe. Big guy as well, the tight end. Threw it up to him. Yeah. Oh, and on this right on the snap, looks like it's going to be a false start. That's going to bring up 1st and 15. And on the run play, Wrestler carries it. Maybe gets a few back, if that. Nope, they're going to say it was a loss.
Wrestler's pass complete to number 7, Cy Jolliffe. Brought down by number 7, Max Gleason. Eight-yard gain on the play.
And sorry about that. I was trying to figure out how to get plugged back in here so that I could get the stream back up and running at full speed. And we're good to go here on 3rd and long. Wrestler's keeping it, and he's going to run with it. Gets close to the goal line, the original goal line. I was trying to convert a 3rd and 14. Bringing up a 4th and 9, we'll call it, on the 32. It's another tough one. I think definitely the Blue Devils will have to kick this one. And it's a line drive kick. Ethan Osborne, the return man, but kind of rolls off to the side, and then it's going to be stopped at about the 22, maybe out of bounds at the 22. So a pretty good kick with all the roll.
Brandon Otero, no return. Conneaut ball
Yeah, it was a 46-yard kick. Brandon Arcaro. Oh, Brandon Otero. There we go. And Jamie Panici, two sophomores as well, both kicking. Take turns place kicking and punting. And on first down for Conneaut, rollout is to Wyatt, and he's going to slip past one tackle and goes out of bounds. A flag is thrown right about where Wyatt was kind of ducking in between players. And it might be on Conneaut. We'll see exactly what the call is. We got 3:33 left to go in this half. The 3-3. And it's a hold call against Conneaut, and it'll be backed up. It's going to go all the way back now with that already not so great field position. It's backing them up even more at about the 12. Xavier Wilson with a stop. Max Gleason took the ball, did not get very far with it. And they're still kind of hanging out back there at about the 15-yard line. They got a long way to go to get a first down. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 17 upcoming. And the carry by Wyatt, and he gets past the goal line, but then is dragged right down.
Wyatt Payne, the ball carrier, brought down by Rocco Ressler.
Rocco Ressler playing in the middle for Independence, and he stops him. Good gain, though, about 10 yards by Wyatt. And it'll be stopped at about the 25. 3rd and 6, we'll call it upcoming. Another tough play for Conneaut. And this one's going up the middle, and it looks like they get it. Rocco Ressler and a couple other guys making the stop. 53 for Independence. Beck Christ. And that's a Conneaut Spartans first down. That one brought to you by University Hospital, Conneaut Medical Center, advancing the science of health and the art of compassion for over 100 years. And under 2 minutes left to go, so you have the 2-minute warning already passed. And, ooh, Max on the run. Tried to throw it out for Ethan Osborne. Threw it behind him, though, and it slips right between the hands. Wasn't in the best of place to throw it either. So that'll bring up 2nd down. Stops the clock, though. Conneaut timeout. And with 1:44 left, they're going to take this timeout. And as I already mentioned, be sure to stop in, listen back here just right after this. We will replay the coaches show right at the end of this quarter with Coach Rocco Dobrin and Matt Jarvie for the Chris Breck State Farm Insurance Coaches Show for Week 3. It was a great one. Great talking to Rocco, especially after last week, that loss against Western Reserve. They learned a lot of things, good and bad, about themselves and where they need to be right now going forward. And still got some things tonight clearly to iron out, too. They had a few penalties tonight, but not the same absurdity level that we had last week. But join in for that. Great discussion between Matt and Rocco, and as well as the Conneaut Save-A-Lot halftime recap, and more scores around the league right after that. And a low snap again. Max is rolling out far, and he's trying to just get it out somewhere. And he tries to complete it to, I think, Wyatt Payne on a wheel route on the far side. It does not go for any for a completion at all. And Max was just running for his life on that play, so it's going to bring up 4th down. Band's getting back into it. The band. And Max looking to throw on 3rd down, and he completes it to Bryce Sperlin on a slant pass. Good placement, although it was a little dangerous as well, too, with the protection. Coverage by Tyler Miller. And Bryce Sperlin, though, just hung on to that one. It was kind of a fight between it. It was a jump ball, but down low. And another low snap by Max. He's getting a lot of low snaps, and he's going to throw this one up. And, ooh, almost completed downfield to, yeah, that was Bryce Sperlin down on that sideline. Going back to him again. Good coverage, though, as well by Rocco Ressler. And, I'm sorry, Tyler Miller. And that one was definitely tough. A kind of an over-the-shoulder catch for Bryce. But actually not a bad thrown ball by Max. And you know what? I think for Max, you know, I think he's definitely better with his feet planted, throwing the ball with all his might instead of rolling the ball. He's not as good at throwing it on the run for sure. I think the best chance for him to get a good pass off is these little slant passes and little out routes for maybe, you know, you snap the ball, a shotgun, and then maybe 3 seconds, and you throw it. You hold on to it 1, 2, 3, and then you chuck it in that one spot that you have lined up. Another low snap, but Max is fielding them pretty well. And Max is going to hang on to this one, and he's going to duck and run, and he slips back inside, and he's dragging a defender down with him. And Rocco Ressler drags down Max, but another Conneaut Spartans 1st down. That one brought to you by Conneaut Savings Bank. Stop and ask about online and mobile banking. They make banking transactions simple, fast, easy, anything you can ask for in a bank. CSB, both in Conneaut and they're in Austinburg. Stop in next week and talk about their great rates on CDs and more. And Max is going to throw again, but he's getting flushed out of the pocket, and he throws it. And Thad Huya comes back to get the ball, and that's a Conneaut Spartans catch and 1st down. Wow, what a great play by Thad Huya. I got to give him a ton of credit on that one for coming back to get that pass. And that's a Conneaut Spartans 1st down again. Ball's way up, and we're down at the 3 or 2.5 now on a 30-yard pass and completion by Max Gleason to Thad Huya. And it's a timeout called by Independence with 44 seconds left to go in this half. They want to talk and make sure they're set before they play this one out. It's 1st down and goal at the 3, so you got to be careful how you play this one. Conneaut knocking on the door again for another touchdown, honey. I get it. Apologize, too. I want to make a correction as well. Chetty Arcaro, sorry, that is, for the name. We want to make sure we get the pronunciations correctly right out of the gate. Kind of moving a mile a minute. Sometimes you forget how to say things, and sometimes you lose the ability to speak the English language in this job, which is not a good thing, but we're working on it. So thank you for our producers, Megan Lebzelder back in the studio, Matt Jarvie as well, our program director, if you want to call him that. and the great owner-operator of 1360 WOW. Again, Ben Jarvie in Independence, Ohio. Sun's finally just starting to go down a little bit. Still a beautiful night in the low 70s, but still very warm for almost 8 o'clock. And a perfect night for football. And the run up the middle, and it's a touchdown. That's Ty Koval gets a carry up the middle. Ty Koval gets his first touchdown of the year, and that's Conneaut Spartans' third touchdown tonight, 19-0 against the Blue Devils with 37 seconds left to go in this half. Independence, they've definitely fought as well as they possibly can, I think. They started out with a lot of intensity early on. They moved the ball pretty well offensively, but they've stalled out a couple drives. But we'll cover all that and more in the the halftime recap. And then a low snap again. Ethan Osborne with the hold, but he's going to flip it, and that's incomplete. Trying to throw it. Wow. And trying to just throw any pass he could out there, and just did not go for anything. Dangerous when that tends to happen. Can always be worse. Ethan just tried to get rid of it. I think did not want to be tackled. But that's 19-0. That time the kick did not even get to be kicked because the snap was low. We're having a little bit of a hard time tonight with low snaps, I'm going to say. So Ryan and Scotty's actually the long snapper for field goals. We might have to work out some bugs here. And the kick will go back to the Blue Devils with only a half a minute or so to try something. Bryce getting lined up with his guys right beside him. And Bryce kicking off another one, and this is a squib kick. Gets touched by one guy and then gets knocked down at about the 30-yard line. And picked up by Xavier Wilson. That was the guy who knocked that one down and held it there. That's where Independence will start with it. With about a half a minute or so to go. See what they try, see if they try anything here before the half is over. Independence really has not had a complete drive really work out for them, hence by the scoreboard. But beyond that, they've just stalled out. Kind of when they move the ball really well in open space because of because of their speed. But when it comes to their size, they've not been able to close in and really move the ball well in the red zone. And the high snap, and Rocco is going to keep it and run with it, and that one's going to go for a loss of about one. Wrestlers dragged down by Ryan Turner. There you go, Ryan. As I was just bringing him up. Gets the stop for about a loss of one. Consider that one a sack by Ryan Turner. Great play. And that's going to close out the half as the clock's running. With the score, Conneaut 19 and the Blue Devils 0. And we'll replay right here to end the second quarter. We'll replay the coaches show. Brought to you by Matt Jarvie and Rocco DeBrand, and of course our great Chris Breck State Farm for sponsoring it. Replay it here to talk about this game and also last week's game coverage and more. And then after that, we will come back for a halftime recap right after this on WOW Sports.
all the calls and everything,
Hang on.
and you squeezed in some football in the game too.
Yeah.
It's the Chris Breck State Farm Insurance Coaches Show here on 1360 WOW, 102.9 and WOW TV. I'm Matt Jarvie, with me again, Coach Rocco Dobrin. Coach, good to see you.
Oh, great to be here as always.
Hey, it seemed like in the game Friday night against Western Reserve, the Blue Devils, there's a lot of things going on in that game. It was a punting competition, it seemed like, for a while there, and then a lesson in officiating with all the calls and everything, and you squeezed in some football in the game too.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a tough one. It was a tough one. I thought we executed very well offensively after the first series or two. It took us a minute to get it going and seeing what they were doing, and then I think Wyatt Payne did his deal as far as getting the tough yards, and they were really keying on him. And then Max had an outstanding night because of that. And there's always going to be times that things don't go your way, and with the refs, you get too many calls against you and that kind of stuff. But we'll never talk about that to the kids or blame.
Right.
The kids, when we look at film, there were some holds, there were some misalignments, there were some things that we made mistakes on. So those are things that we just got to fix. We got to fix. Some crews don't throw any flags, some throw a lot. But it's not like that. There are some things there that they saw. So we got to fix those things. We got to be a lot more disciplined as far as that side of things go. But I was proud of the effort our kids gave. We just got to clean up the mistakes.
I think they did everything they had to do to win that game, but just the circumstances didn't work out.
Absolutely. And that's why, I felt like we moved the ball better than the other team. I think we got, especially with all the penalties, you weigh a lot more yards than the other team.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we wanted a touchdown that got called back where we kicked a field goal to go up with 4 minutes left, and they marched down and scored, and we got a dumb, late hit penalty, and they hit us on an ice screen pass. They go down and score. We still had 2 minutes to score, and we moved the ball right down to the 20. And then all of a sudden we get a bad snap, and then we're back, playing from behind the chains again.
Right.
So there's just things that we need to clean up and fix. And they were a really tough team, really good team. We knew that, and but I didn't feel. I felt like overall our kids played well. It just goes back to cleaning up those discipline issues and not shooting yourselves in the foot.
And after our coach's show last week, I did go online and try to learn as much as I could about the Blue Devils. And from what I gathered, and there was interviews with the Youngstown TV or the newspaper, Vindicator, and all that down over there covering them. And you covered, or I think you hit it on the nail on the head, that they had a lot of people returning, and practically everybody was returning to that team. And the number one thing I could come away with is that they had very high expectations down there with that team.
Absolutely. They had high expectations. Like you said, all their playmakers were going to be seniors this year. And we contained them. We didn't give up big plays, but we just, we let them drive a couple times. And I think we had 3 touchdowns called back. That can't happen on our end. So.
Oh, three's a killer. I know it.
Yeah.
And you're right about that. I mean, Malvern, gave him a rough time, and it seemed like, I don't know if it was a combination of that loss, that they were starving for a win, that they knew the high expectations were there and the pressure was there, that they, perhaps they it revved them up, and they didn't like the loss that we gave them last year in overtime. So there's a lot of things that contributed to that. But overall, Coach, I thought that if you look at the game, Spartans were well coached in that game. You can't do anything about all the penalties necessarily.
Absolutely.
But when we got into the third and the fourth quarter specifically, it seemed like they were getting worn down. It's not easy to push around Scotty Edwards and our guys.
No, absolutely
your Dillons all night long, and soon, and then trying to slow down our quick guys with Max and Wyatt and our other guys that we got speed on too. It's not easy, and it seemed like they were wearing down a little bit. And I think the momentum was coming to us. But then all the breaks came when the ball was down the field then.
Yeah, absolutely. And Scotty Edwards did have a great game. And obviously Max Gleason had over 200 yards rushing. I mean, some unbelievable stuff. Dylan Phillips was dying, dead tired, and still had a great defensive game for us. Mm-hmm. Ty Koval, as always, And then, the one that just stands out is when you talk about games like this, or unsung heroes, or the guy that maybe – that I want the young kids to look at were the Bryce Spurlins. Bryce hurt his ankle early second quarter, pretty bad. I mean, he hurt his ankle pretty bad, and he refused to come out of the game. And he's he wasn't going full go. He was trying, but he just kept getting back in. He went on offense for us. And then with a hurt ankle, he ended up kicking out 40-yard field goal.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
So, and I don't think, that's the longest field goal since I've been here for sure.
Yeah. We were thinking about that. We didn't know if Joey Merlin had any quite that
No,
long,
he didn't. I don't know. He only had a chance to do it like once, I think.
Yeah.
So
you guys weren't kicking it all back in
we
those
were
days.
kicking more extra points. When Joey Merlin played, we scored a lot of touchdowns. So he got a lot of points off touchdowns, and he had the leg to do it, but he never really got the shot. And but Bryce is the first one to kick one that far in a game, and that was with a really hurt ankle, and just a kid that he's just guts. You know, there was probably 85-90% of kids would not have came back in the game, just would have been done for the night.
Now was that on his plant foot or kicking foot?
Kicking foot.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it's kicking foot.
My goodness, you think just swinging that leg at the ball would have been?
Well, I'm sure it didn't feel good, but these kids get the energy, the adrenaline going. But just the fact that he wanted to, he looked at me and he's like, "Coach, I can kick this," and I'm like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
And there he goes. He goes out there and gets it done.
That was an amazing kick. It was, and that immediately quieted down their fans on the other side of the field, and we were the loudest side again on the field. So the momentum shifted on that play alone. But it was a seesaw battle. Just kept going back and forth. Tell me about in the third quarter when you finally went out, and it was a 6-minute and 30-second drive, I think, that we had. Spartans had going, and then there was that call out on the field after, I don't know who it was, number 8 or number 6 for the Blue Devils, ripped off whose helmet?
It might have been Huya's
it ripped his helmet off, and you went out on the field and you were talking about it, where the other coach came out too as well. Was that whether the player should be ejected from the game or?
No, the refs just wanted to get both coaches out there and say just on both sides to clean it up, and
just like
too many little personal foul stuff.
Right.
Even all the personal fouls were called on them, but but they kept calling us out. So, but that's okay. It's football and everyone's playing.
Ethan
hard
Osborne, that's who it was.
Yeah, Ethan. Yeah, so
and he got his helmet ripped off his head.
Yeah,
and then it was thrown too, I think, on top of it. So I don't know what else he can do about that.
Yeah, I thought our guys handled that stuff well. They put their hands back.
Right.
They didn't fight back. They just kept playing in between the whistles and playing hard. And I appreciate our kids playing that way.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that straightens that up. Can you tell me about later in the third quarter? There was offsetting penalties. Blue Devils had it at the 48-yard line just before the 50, and they completed a pass to one of their receivers down at the 38. He went out of bounds. There was unsportsmanlike conduct and offsetting penalties, but they let them have it where they had caught the ball. It seemed like offsetting penalties would have brought it back to the original line of scrimmage.
They said that both penalties were after the whistle, like after dead ball.
So
So they said it was a dead ball foul after the whistle.
That clears it up.
So from that point on, they don't get any more yards forward. It's offsetting from there.
Right. So the play was legitimate then.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that was. We're trying to go back in this replay and figure out what is happening.
Yeah. Right.
And there was a lot to that, so it was an amazing game just to watch and try to unravel what all happened there. But Coach, I thought you guys did a great job, and we just didn't get the win, but they played well. I thought if they just eliminate, like you say, the problems,
got to clean it up. Yep.
You do. Independence now, moving on to them. One good thing about it, redeeming factor, you get to play the Blue Devils again.
Yeah, right back at it. Right?
Yeah, you can kind of get a redeeming thing out of this and beat one of them anyway. They're having a little bit of a rough start. They lost to Columbia and I don't know who the
Edison,
that's right. You got 2 losses out there. 2 pretty good football teams.
Absolutely. And that's what, so you can't look at the score to those games.
Right.
Edison's really good. Columbia looked really good on film.
Yeah.
So these guys, they look fast. They move the ball well. They're a smaller team to be over. I mean, as far as like size,
Yeah.
They got like quicker, faster linemen. They're not like a big offensive line. They have smaller guys,
right.
But they run to the ball well. So you see their pursuit is good. And then they pass the ball more than any team we've seen. They're right now they're like almost 70% pass. A little bit of that's probably because they're losing, but it looks like that's what they want to do. So that'll be a challenge in itself for our kids because it's something new to look at. Is when a team, we haven't seen a team that just strictly pass almost every down.
Okay.
So it puts a little bit of added pressure to you. They did do, it looked like their quarterback in week 1 might have got an injury and he didn't play week 2. So I don't know, that's kind of hard knowing. Is he going to come back week 3? Is he still out? We don't know what that injury is. And if their backup quarterback's in, or they're still going to throw the ball, they're going to run more. What are they going to do? So there's some good question marks in there, but they definitely look like their kids play hard. They play to the whistle, and they're running around. And then, like I said, it's hard to tell. You can't really go by that score because of how good those other teams they played are.
Right.
They were just really dominating teams.
And I heard that too from their side, is that they have a smaller team, but they're home. They're a small, quick team on artificial turf. That could be dangerous sometimes.
Absolutely can. And our guys got to buckle down, make sure they cover, have good coverage, and we got to get to their quarterback to make them throw, hopefully throw off balance a little bit.
Right. And they're Division 6?
I believe so. I'm not sure exactly, but
heading back towards where we're used to anyway. What can you anything about regarding the team injuries or anything like that, or
No, I mean everyone's fairly healthy. We're still trying to get Jaden back, and we'll see. It might be a couple more weeks, might be sooner, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well, Coach, wish you the best of luck Friday night against the Independence Blue Devils. Should be a good time up there in Independence, Ohio.
Thank you so much.
This has been another edition of the Chris Breck State Farm Insurance Coaches Show right here on WOW Media.
We're here for all pro edge rushers, for pregame tailgaters, for family fan cavers. We're University Hospitals, the official healthcare partner of the Cleveland Browns, and your hometown team of experts for sports medicine, heart and vascular, everyday care, and more. And we're here to keep you at your quarterback rushing, here we go cheering, holding your breath in excitement best. We're University Hospitals, and we're here for you. At University Hospitals, the same sports medicine experts who care for your Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Monsters, and Cleveland Ballet are trusted by countless local athletes at every level to develop personalized care plans that will keep them passing, pirouetting, and performing at their peak. We are your hometown healthcare advantage. We're University Hospitals Drusinski Sports Medicine Institute, and we're here for you.
And you're joining us back here at Stan Skozen Stadium. That's a tongue twister sometimes. So you're also listening to the Independence Blue Devils Blue Band. And you just missed Conneaut as well, too. If you were listening, you could hear it as well, kind of mixed it in with the coaches show with Coach Rocco. And it was great talking with Rocco. And as he said, too, you were hearing just now on the Chris Breck State Farm Insurance Coaches show that this team, as we've seen so far tonight, it's a very quick team, and they're on artificial turf, so they move the ball pretty well. They're used to this type of field, unlike Conneaut, which is, I think, why Conneaut, even though they've played pretty well tonight, there was definitely an adjustment period so far in this first half. They kind of needed to find themselves a little bit, and definitely were working on the best way to move the ball, and I think they opened it up a lot more in the second half than they did in the second quarter than the first quarter, although they only got one touchdown in the second quarter versus two in the first. But two misses by Bryce Sperlin as well, too. Well, one miss on the extra point, and then the other one was a botched snap, a low snap. Ethan Osborne tried to dump it off and make a best out of that play. But it was kind of a broken play as it was. But 19-0. Your Conneaut Spartans are leading the Independence Blue Devils. Welcome to the Conneaut Save-A-Lot halftime recap, brought to you by Conneaut Save-A-Lot Food Store. Not lower quality, just the lowest prices. And it's been a great, so far, great production overall by Max and Wyatt. Wyatt sitting with 2 touchdowns so far tonight. And then one also on about a 3-yard run by Ty Coville, who got his first touchdown tonight. So 2 for Wyatt, 1 for Ty Coville. Wyatt so far definitely been the star tonight, even though Max usually is always the driving force, driving the offense. Max has had about 50 yards rushing on the ground, but he's also picked up a few yards as well, too, completing to Bryce Sperlin and Noah Ham. So I think he's got about 30 yards passing so far tonight. I could be a little off on that, but 30 yards passing so far for Max. On the ground, Wyatt's been another deal. He's been a 100-yard runner so far in this half. He's been really setting the pace for Conneaut so far. Like I said, Max as well pacing him too. He's got at least 50 yards tonight so far on the ground. And Conneaut's offense is going through those two guys primarily. Ty Koval being the change of pace back as well, too. He's got about 10 to 15 yards rushing tonight. Got that 3-yard rushing touchdown so far. That was the last touchdown in the first half to make it 19-0. So a lot of good things went right for Conneaut so far. The passing game starting to open up a little bit more, too, but also because the running game is available to them, they're able to do that with more efficiency. Pass the ball. Because of the size differential between Independence and Conneaut, Conneaut has a lot more time to pass the ball, even though there's been a couple guys with the blitzes off the end, the outside linebackers and the defensive backs pressuring Max. Hasn't been a whole lot of time, but he's had enough time to kind of set back and maybe like have these 3-second passes out of the pocket nice and cleanly, where he's found Bryce Sperlin, Noah Ham, a couple of these targets, Ethan Osborne, for some smaller yardage plays. I think the longest one was about a 10-yard pickup or 12 yards to Bryce. But, it's going better than it has the first 2 games so far this year. So that's a plus so far for Conneaut. Wyatt is definitely showing a lot of strength so far for being the lead running back. So far, he's my favorite for Dairy Queen Player of the Game, but we're not giving too much away so far. Ty Koval opening up more. Line's playing pretty good so far tonight, given plenty of time and plenty of open holes so far tonight. The guys Scotty Edwards, Ryan Turner, Dylan Phillips, those guys. Pearson playing pretty well. So they're all doing their part. But one thing I've noticed so far, Ryan Turner playing at center had a little bit of a tough time tonight snapping the ball to shotgun. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but maybe it's the artificial turf, maybe it's not. As you're not your Independence, unless you're from Independence, we thank you for joining our stream on 1360 WOW Sports. But I've definitely noticed on the Conneaut side some problems, I'll say, that need to be ironed out. I think Coach is definitely talking about those things right now. Maybe they're not going to be completely fixed tonight in the second half. We're not going to see a totally different perspective of it. But Ryan Turner's had a difficult time snapping the ball. A lot of low snaps so far. Nothing that's been completely botched. You haven't had a broken play other than the one extra point at the end that was a low snap that Ethan Osborne could not plant for Bryce Sperlin to kick. So it was just a totally broken play. That was a Scotty Edwards snap from the long snap position. But Ryan Turner has snapped a lot of low balls, and Max has had to go down to get a lot of them, which has slowed down the progression of all these plays, which, the timing's definitely getting affected. The passing plays, the running plays, how long can the lineman open the hole for, and can Wyatt Payne or Max Gleason hit the hole in time before it closes? These are all some things that definitely have transpired tonight that need to still be figured out. I believe Conneaut will, but definitely it's a good learning opportunity for Conneaut so far playing on artificial turf. So it's been, up and down. Rocco Resler, he's played pretty well so far tonight. Hang on a sec.
We'd also like to recognize trumpet player Lindsay Liu for her solo on House of the Rising Sun. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention tonight. We hope you have a great evening.
Let's hear it for that Blue Devil marching band.
Sorry, as I'm just coming back, getting the camera back and set up. We got a few minutes before before the team makes it back. But that was the Independence Blue Devils Blue Band, and they were quite a good performance so far for the home crowd and for our Conneaut visitors. And thank you, Independence, again for hosting us. What a nice stadium it is. Stan Skozen Stadium in Independence, Ohio. A little bit of a drive as well, too. About an hour from Conneaut, I'd say it's about an hour and 15 or so, hour and 20. For me, it was longer, just coming from Pennsylvania, but no big deal. And we made it down here, just go down 271 and then west on 480. Basically just due south of Cleveland, pretty close to the Hopkins Airport. So anyway, we got about 3 minutes before game time. But that's pretty much it as far as what I had for the Conneaut Save a Lot halftime recap. Sorry, the air is starting to dry out for me. So we got to work on a couple more things so far. But like I said, it's a good learning experience for Conneaut playing on the artificial turf, and I think they've gained a lot from this. And there's going to be plenty more teams that you have to face up against that have these turf well laid down. So thank you for joining us for your Conneaut Save a Lot halftime recap, brought to you by Conneaut Save a Lot Food Store. Not lower quality, just the lowest prices. And as well too, I got some scores around the league as well from updates. Good scores as well. You got a couple updates as well too as far as college football. We can talk about that. Stanford and Cal, as you probably have been following in Pac-12, they're going to join the ACC. Southern Methodist SMU also leaves the AAC to join the ACC. Only 2 teams remain in the Pac-12, and that's kind of a tough thing right now for the Pac because Washington as well as Oregon are leaving next year for the Big Ten to join Penn State and Ohio State and the other boys that we know and love. So Cleveland's still pushing. They've been fighting for playoff position. They're 5 games back, I believe, of Minnesota, and they're still fighting for it. And they picked up a couple pitchers. One of them I'm pretty excited about, Lucas Giolito, was formerly with the Chicago White Sox. Any devout Cleveland baseball fan would definitely love, is very happy about Lucas Giolito because he's been such a nightmare for Cleveland. Was a Cy Young candidate a couple seasons ago. Then kind of things fell apart for him last year and this year as well. Then he was traded to the Los Angeles Angels and then was released by them and picked up off of waivers by Cleveland. So that's a big acquisition as well. They got a couple other great pitchers that they've recently picked up. Matt Moore was another one. He was formerly a great pitcher with the San Francisco Giants. I haven't really followed his career as of late, but he's played pretty well in the past. So he's an older pitcher, but a good veteran presence. So they didn't make the acquisitions at the trade deadline that we probably needed. but sorry about that. But they have the right pitching now in place. They can possibly make some moves and try to go for it in September. Scores around the league as well too. We're going to recap here. Sorry about that. Working through some little logistical problems here at Independence High School, but thank you for sticking with us. As I was saying, we got some scores around the league. Obviously, Independence trailing to Conneaut 19-0. We're here at that one, so we've been having full coverage as the team's getting back and set up. JFK, another former opponent we played a few years back. I believe that was in 2020, if I remember. And we played him at Warren G. Harding Stadium, which was an incredible experience for Mike Bartone and myself to be there, and that was quite a field. They're losing to South Range. South Range was the #1 seed, I believe, last year, so they're quite a team. 28-3, South Range has the lead on that one. Menor over top of Riverside, 17-14.5. Pymatuning Valley all over Grand Valley, 24-0 at half. Perry up on Kirtland, 8-0 at half. That's kind of impressive considering Kirtland's size. Grove City over top of Northwestern, 34-7. And Geneva over top of Springfield Local, 14-7. And we're coming back to it, so we'll come back to it here. And on the kick for Conneaut, it'll be first down, of course, to start the second half. And the snap, handoff to Wyatt Payne, rolling out over to that far sideline. And he's pushed out of bounds, thinks he's got himself a first down. Good burst of speed for Wyatt, and that's going to be a Conneaut Spartans first down, I think. Pretty close. Yep, okay. I was like, it looked like he clearly had it. And yeah, it was a pickup of almost 15 yards, so they were very slow on the chains over there. We're going to have to talk to those guys. And first down, Conneaut. That one brought to you by Conneaut Dairy Queen. Enjoy lunch or dinner or a cool treat soon. And a weekend like this, you can't ask for better food, better times than the Conneaut DQ. And Max driving to the near sideline. You can see it right here at the bottom of the screen. Drove it out of bounds over by the Independence bench. Pushed out by number 53. That is Beck Christ. And that'll bring up 2nd and 4. And we have some more scores as well, too, that we'll touch upon. Some of the big hitters that we just had. Game of the week, the Menor game. We'll hopefully have a final score at the end of the 4th quarter. And the final recap on WOW Media. Max Gleason with a keeper himself, and he's going to get the first down and more. And he's close to midfield. Moving the chains again, Conneaut Spartans. That first down brought to you by University Hospital, Conneaut Medical Center. They're advancing the science of health and the art of compassion for over 100 years. Stop in for a visit at the old Brown Memorial, and never a better time than to have your annual physical. I'm due for mine as well. And the reverse play by a pitch out to Ethan Osborne. He's dragged way down. Gang tackle by Independence players all over. And they're saying forward progress. Oh, they're calling a hold. Okay. I thought they were going to say the mark of the spot was forward progress, but no, they're saying the hold was called there, but they didn't throw it. I don't think they threw a flag, but Independence is declining the play anyway because they actually lost yardage on that play as it was, so it'll be 2nd down, losing that one. 2nd down and 17, so a loss of 7. Back at the 40, Max in shotgun with Wyatt to his right side. Noah Ham, and on the right side of the screen, and then 3 wide left. And roll out. Wyatt Payne on the far side, past midfield. Whoops, sorry. And gets that 7 back and more. Good running display by Wyatt. He gets marked at exactly the 50. Midfield, or maybe just shy. Okay, exactly the 49, it looks like. So we're looking at a 3rd and 8. With about 10.5 minutes left to go in the 3rd. And this one's a keeper by Max. He shakes off 1 tackle and then busts through another. He's finally dragged down, though, by a whole gang load of guys for Independence. And he will get maybe 1 or 2, which is pretty impressive considering they were all over him on that play. Bringing up 4th down, Conneaut. Most likely a punt is coming for Conneaut unless they decide to push this one. They're just at the inside midfield at the 49, just inside of Blue Devils territory. But a long 4th and 6 upcoming. Looks like Rocco is going for it. Lined up. Maybe they're going to draw him off sides again. They already got it to work once this game. And the handoff is to Wyatt. He's pushing to get the 1st down. He might have gotten it. What a great push. They're marking him. It was a good last attempt. It was like 5.5. It was barely not enough, but they're saying he was clearly short. No measurement needed. He needed to get to about the 43, and they mark him at the 44. So Wyatt with a great effort, though, and on a 4th and 6 has a gutsy play. It barely was stopped by Independence, so consider themselves lucky on that one. And turnover on downs going back to Independence, and they'll have the ball at a nice spot of the 44. And on 1st down, a keeper by Wrestler, and he's going to the far side, shaking off, stiff arming 1 but 2 tackles, and he gets himself a 1st down. Past the 45, marked at the 44, so a pickup of 12 yards.
12-yard gain on the play. 1st down.
Wrestler all by himself seems like he's a pretty formidable opponent just to drag down all by himself. See, Independence in open space, as I mentioned, they've been able to move the ball with efficiency. It's just been tough for them once they get to about the 25 or 30-yard line to try to get it even farther out than that. A pass play from Wrestler over to the far side. I think that's to Miller, and he shakes off 1 tackle. He's got himself another 1st down. I think he slipped past I'm not sure if that was Max over there. Ty Colville with the stop for Conneaut.
15-yard gain on the play by Wilson. 1st down, Blue Devils.
And another 1st down for Independence, and Wrestler throwing a flip pass and a completed pass downfield.
First pass complete to
Cy Jolliffe with the completion, and I think that was Max in coverage, if I'm correct.
That's Gleason with the tackle.
And 3 big plays for Independence on their first drive of this half. They're moving the ball pretty well. It was kind of a flip pass by Wrestler, who's done a couple of those so far. We haven't seen a lot of them, and Wrestler carrying the ball himself, and he's cutting inside, and he's fighting his way in, and he signals for the line. Touchdown, Independence. They get their 1st touchdown all night. They've had a couple close calls where they could have got one in, and they finally get one early in this half against Conneaut. And Conneaut's got to tighten back up here. And the kick by
2:21 left in the third quarter. Conneaut 19.
The
Blue
kick
Devils
by
7.
Otero is up and good, so that's making it 19-7. Independence answers back early in this half. And that's cutting things a little close with only a 12-point lead. You got to be a little careful here for Conneaut.
Back deep for the Spartans, number 6, Wyatt Payne, to number 10.
Yeah, this is actually the first kick.
That is Hua.
Well, I mean, this is the second one this half, but first kick really back so far for Wyatt that he's been able to return
Kickoff for the
if he does get the opportunity. This is 86 with the kick off. That is Jamie Panici, who we were talking about, so it's only the second time we've seen him. And it's a short kick on a low roller and falls down to make the stop is 22 for Conneaut. That is
7-yard kick, no return.
Bradley
First
Agnew.
down, Spartans.
Falls down on 2 knees to pick that one up smartly. Got to be heads up with those types of plays. And Conneaut will take over after that kick at the 32. Want to remind everyone too, as we look forward to upcoming season, or I'm sorry, this upcoming weeks. We got Chagrin Falls this next week, and then after that is the Hawken game on a Thursday. And Wyatt Payne makes a pretty good play for about 5 yards, or 7 we'll call it, 6. And Wilson looked like he made the play of the game or something like that based on his reaction, but Wyatt Payne with a pretty good return or run there, and it's 2nd and 4 for Conneaut. And handoff again to Wyatt up the middle, and he's pushing ahead, gets about the first down. And first down, Conneaut. That one brought to you by none other than Chris Brecht State Farm Insurance, 593-1191. He's always there for you. We appreciate him sponsoring the Coaches Show, and it's always great talking with Coach Rocco Dobrin. And we're always looking forward to catching up with him and those guys around the neighborhood next time. And a rollout play by Max Gleason on the far side, and he's slipping past 1 but 2 guys on that far side up the sideline. He's past the 30-yard line. Big play by Max Gleason. Conneaut Spartans first down again, hammering it back home, not letting off the hook here. Hello. You didn't get anything. What? Well, what do you? Just keep my money? Okay. You still have it? Okay. And 1st and 10 on the 30. And Wyatt's running on the handoff. Far side again. Flag is thrown. Might have been a hold call against possibly the wideout on that side, which was, I believe, Ethan Osborne. Hold against Conneaut. Yep. And it's going to be moved back 5 from that spot.
Now the Spartans.
Yes. And moving it back 5. 1st and 15 now. Ball's on 35, but they will have a replay of that down. 6:40 in the third. And this one's a keeper by Max on that side.
Max Gleason, the ball carrier. Brought down by number 20, Charlie Puklevic.
And getting back into it. Good run by Max Gleason. Picks up, wow, about over 10 yards because it was 1st and 15. They're close to the, I think they're just a couple yards shy. They're at the 22 now. So 2nd and 2 on the 22. Max in shotgun. I'm sorry, no, it's Bryce Sperlin in shotgun. And he's going to keep it himself, and he's darting ahead. And with a blocker, Wyatt Payne out in front, he falls forward for a good chunk yardage play.
Bryce Berlin, the ball carrier.
And the ball came out, but I think well after he was down. So it'll be a Conneaut Spartans first down.
Time out on the field.
And we got a Conneaut Spartans injury. Man, is that, I'm not sure if that's Bryce, but he's holding the knee now. It's really not, I'm not sure if that's Bryce, but that was a bad one, and he's holding his ankle or his knee pretty bad.
Don't forget the head over for the IHS PTO Fall Mum Sale. Order your mums.
Yep, as we unfortunately, Conneaut always has one bad injury every year, and I'm not sure what to the extent this one is, but it doesn't look pleasant, but sometimes really bad ones don't always work out too badly. But Bryce, yeah, it's Bryce Sperlin who just took the carry, and now he's hobbling. Now he can't even put weight on it. And he's carried off by Ty Koval and some other Conneaut player I couldn't see. Bradley Agnew, I believe. And that's 3 consecutive games that Bryce has had an injury. That one definitely looking to be the worst of all of them, though. Could not even walk off himself. He hobbled the first 2 times with 2 different cramps. So hopefully he comes back. He was our player of the game last week. Has been kind of quiet tonight. He's made 1 extra point so far tonight. 1 catch as well from Max Gleason. But hopefully he comes back out there with 6 minutes left to go in the third, and then all the fourth to play, depending on how close this one ends up being. I wouldn't worry too much about getting him back out so far. And this run by Wyatt Payne going on the far side. He's pushing number 6 for Independence out of the way. Goes out, but I think it's a Conneaut Spartans first down and more.
Wyatt Payne, the ball carrier.
And it's first down, Conneaut. They're set up.
Knocked out of bounds by number 6, Sam Crooks.
Yeah, Sam Crooks in on the stop. That was number 6 for Independence. So first down on the 1-yard line. They stopped them just shy, and they're going to have to try to blast this one in from 1 yard out. And a low snap again, but handoff to Wyatt, and he's in for 1 yard out. No signal really from the referees, but okay, I think we're getting it. And touchdown, Conneaut. They answer back.
The goal line by the Blue Devil defense.
Okay, so never mind. We're just shy. No signal. Looked like he easily got in, but they're marking it.
Quarterback's knee was down.
Oh, they're saying that Max's knee was down on the snap, so we actually lost some yards on the technicality. Because the low snap, Max had to pick that one almost off the ground, and his knee ended up touching the ground, so they called him down there. And then on the handoff to Wyatt on the second play, he does not get anywhere.
By a swarm of Blue Devils.
So Wyatt's touchdown was completely erased. And on third down and about 5 now to go, it's another handoff to Wyatt, and he lunges forward, and the signal's touchdown, Conneaut on that one. The final effort by Wyatt. He could not be let down on that one. He was not going to be denied. He gets in for the score. Conneaut answers with their 4th touchdown tonight. And since Bryce is out, we got obviously a new Thad Huya out there as well, who was the place kicker for a short while last year before Bryce ended up taking it away from him. And the kick is up by Thad, and it's good. Thad Huya coming in the clutch. He's had himself a pretty good game tonight. Caught a beautiful pass, played defensively pretty well, blocked up, broke up a couple passes, and kicks that one, relieving Bryce at place kicking duties for the time being. And that's good, making it Conneaut Spartans 26, Blue Devils 7, with 4:35 left to go in the third.
Back deep for the Blue Devils, number 3, Tyler Miller.
Tyler Miller back to return for Independence.
Number 10, Thaddeus Hoop. Good kickoff for Conneaut.
And the kick by Thad Huya goes out of bounds. Kind of hooked that one to the far side, and that'll be a legal procedure. Moving the ball up to the 40. So on the fresh set of downs for the Blue Devils, that's where they'll get it. Giving them a pretty good chance at another touchdown. They seem to be moving the ball pretty well just last drive. We'll see how they come back firing this time. I'm sorry, it'll move up to 35. Blue Devils lined up wide formation, 4 wide right, left and 1 wide right, I'm sorry. And the pass by Wrestler just completely thrown nowhere. No one in the vicinity. Bradley Agnew was the closest guy for either team and could have been intercepted easily. I think it was a miscommunication with the slot receiver for Independence. I think it was Sam Cooks, or it was
4-2-1.
Sam Bernhard, I believe.
4-1. 4-2-1. Six, 4-1, 4-2-1.
And on the pass play, downfield. Am I in or are you in? Who's in?
Pass intended for Cy Jolliffe,
okay.
Incomplete. Again, 50-50 wrap.
Cy Jolliffe with his intended completion, intended receiver was denied, was incomplete on that one. Bringing up 3rd and 10.
Yellow ticket, 6-4-1, 4-2-1. Come up to the press box.
And on the rollout, looks like Wrestler's passing, but Nope, cannot
Wrestler's pass intended for
Cannot find anyone. Throws it incomplete. Bringing up 4th down, Independence. They're probably going to get the punting team out there. On the 35, they moved the ball. No yardage on that one. They were pretty much going for the pass on all the plays. And the kick, Otero. And picked up by Ethan Osborne, who gets that one in the breadbasket and then falls forward right on the ground. So good heads-up play by Ethan Osborne to hang on to that one. And that'll be Conneaut Spartans' ball at the 42 with a little over 4 minutes left to go in the third. Again, thank you for joining us as well. Ben Jarvie and Ann Jarvie out in Independence, Ohio. Thanks for joining us for the Coaches Show, replayed, brought to you by Chris Breck State Farm, and the halftime recap brought to you by Conneaut Save-A-Lot. And we'll have recap and more after the fourth quarter. Stick around after the game. And the first play run by Max Gleason gets maybe 1 or 2, and that's where he's going to be cut shy.
Official timeout on the field.
And Max running ahead, and he's breaking speed, and he's got tons of room on the far side. He finally makes his way over that way, kind of zigging and zagging, cutting and weaving. But there is a flag way back at the 45, and a couple of linemen hanging out back here for Conneaut. Gavin Nesbitt and Scotty Edwards were hanging out, and they know it's coming back, unfortunately, on a hold call. It was thrown late, so, or a leak, no, it was a hold, yeah. And replay, second down, heartbreaker for Conneaut. That was a Max, that was a great play by Max. And I'm not sure if the hold really changed anything because it looked like it was called at the 45, but that was where the play had already been broken open and might not have mattered anyway. Max might have had his big break of the night. And Conneaut takes a timeout there on 2nd and long upcoming. As we're kind of was talking a little bit before as well too about the upcoming schedule. I can put it up on the screen, but the whiteout, the Chris Breck State Farm whiteout, is September 14th. So that game against Hawken is a Thursday. Just remember that one, folks. We'll be back home and really excited about always being back home at the University Hospital Conneaut Medical Center broadcast booth for that whiteout on the 14th. Next week, of course, Chagrin Falls. We're hoping to have coverage alongside YSN, but we will keep you posted on our both on our Facebook and radio page. Has a big breakout play, goes for a touchdown downfield, and no flags. Ethan Osborne from 40 on the 45, so it was a 55-yard pass. Biggest play. Did you get that? Good job. And the biggest play, definitely biggest pass play for Conneaut so far this year. For 55 yards out, goes for the 5th touchdown of the night for Conneaut. I believe that might have been the biggest play for Conneaut so far this year. Another big break Max Gleason completes it over the middle to Ethan Osborne for 55 yards. They almost pulled that one off last week, but it got called back for illegal man in motion. And here we go. This one sticks, folks. And the snap, hold by Ethan Osborne. The kick by, that's Bryce back out there. Bryce is out there. Thank goodness. Bryce is out there, but Thad kicked a pretty good extra point just a bit ago, so Thad, I think, could easily handle kicking duties for the rest of this game. But Bryce is out there kicking again, and he looks a little slow, but he seems to be okay. Got to be careful with him. He looked to be in a lot of pain, but he might just be very cramp prone. Poor guy. So, needs a lot of potassium and water, right? Yep, that's what need to fight cramps, right? Potassium and water. Yeah. We could use some of that right here up at in Independence, Ohio at Stan Skozen Stadium, you know, right? So that leaves it, folks, with 3:16 left to go in the third. We're standing Conneaut Spartans 33, Independence Blue Devils 7. Conneaut really breaking this game wide open. You can kind of expect to see a change in the reserves here coming up in the fourth quarter. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of guys, Karen Dobrik and a lot of the 9th and 10th graders coming out to play for Conneaut.
Yard kick. Rocco Wrestler with a 15-yard return.
Rocco Wrestler making that return.
Down, Blue Devils.
Gets about 15 back, and the Blue Devils will get it at about the 35, which is where they had it just this last drive. They're going to have to pull something off, though, folks. They seem like they had it all figured out coming right out that first drive that they got the ball after the second quarter, after halftime. Came back. They seemed really fresh and focused, which is how they seemed early in the game, too. In the very start of the game, getting the ball, right away. They moved all the way downfield. They got the closest they ever got, at least at that point in time. They got to about the 25-yard line, and then they stalled out and turned the ball over on downs. And then they never got back closer than the 25 to a touchdown until that first play of the game, or the first drive, rather. And there's some horseplay definitely going on, too, between number 2 and number 62. You got to be careful here. It's Jaden Anderson out there. Got to be careful. So Jaden is playing a little bit, which is good to see. We weren't 100% sure he was going to be out there, but Coach said it was a possibility, folks. So he's out there playing defensive line. And he's already getting into it, I think, with, not sure if that was number 2 or number 6. It might have been Sam Crooks or Carson Howard. But we got to be careful not to escalate this thing more. This game's already pretty much decided, so we got to be careful. And Wrestler throwing like a flutter pass again, and it's complete. And he's dragged down by a couple Spartans.
Complete to number 3, Tyler Miller.
Tyler Miller, one of the big connections so far tonight. And he completes it. Independence pulled off a pretty good pass on the just a straight streak pattern downfield to Miller. And Wrestler's got kind of a unique throw. He doesn't really just like let back and rip it like Hemming from the Western Reserve guy. Kind of just falls back and lets it rip. But this guy, no, he's kind of more of a let it float while throwing it high in the air because he's not very big for a quarterback. And he, on that first drive, or first play rather, kind of flutters out of bounds. He is a pretty tall guy, 6'3", 167, but not a lot of body mass on him. He's probably about as thick as Max, if not slimmer than Max. But he's obviously quite a bit taller. But he just seems like he just doesn't want to just let his arm just take care of all the work. Kind of gives a little bit of lift. And 2nd and 10 upcoming for Blue Devils. Wrestler at shotgun in an empty back set. And he's going to throw it over the middle, and he tries to complete it to number 11. That was Liam Reinerth, who's in there now playing kind of in the slot. Now all of a sudden now, on two dud of a plays, it's 3rd and 10. Blue Devils.
Bill Geske in the crowd. Bill Geske, thanks for coming out tonight.
Thanks, Bill Geske. And hopefully you're going to follow us on 1360 WOW Sports on YouTube and Facebook Live. And go to 1360wow.com and click Listen Live so you can stream it anywhere. And Wrestler on the carry up the middle gets about 3 or 4, but it's going to bring up a 4th and long now with about 2 minutes left to go. Clock's ticking. And it's going to be 4th and 7. It's a tough play to pull off. Independence is going to have to try something really slick here with some high percentage of confidence. And Wrestler thrown over the middle, and he almost completes it but dropped. Kind of looked like it was between two players. It was between Sam Crooks and number 4, Sam Bernhardt. So it was between the two. I think Crooks was the deep man, and Reinert was the kind of the guy underneath. And Reinert looked like it was actually for him. Maybe it was actually for Crooks, but he was supposed to come back for it. So kind of a weird play, not quite figured out. And either way, it gets dropped by Reinert and goes incomplete. Good coverage as well by Conneaut. If it went for anything, it would have been a first down, but nothing more than that. And Conneaut takes over on downs at the 33-yard line. Another low snap and dragged down. Not sure if that was Max or not, but okay.
Brought down by Beck.
Yep,
Chris.
Max is rolling out right, but was stopped immediately, and he lost about 5 or 6 yards. Beck Christ with a stop, so that was a sack for Independence. 2nd and long upcoming, about 15 to go. Ball's now at the 25-yard line, and a run up the middle by Wyatt Payne. I'm sorry, Carrick Dobrin now running it for Conneaut.
Number 17, Dominic Narduzzi.
Narduzzi with a stop for the Blue Devils, bringing up 3rd and 15 again. No gain at all for Dobrin. Played a few snaps in the first game of the year against Grand Valley. Last week really did not get any time to play with it being so close. And on 3rd down, whoa, Max seemed like he might have lost the ball, but not sure if it was an incomplete pass or a turnover, but it might have been. Unfortunately, it looked like he was trying to hang on to it, and it might have slipped out now that the air's getting a little colder. And the referee signals it was a fumble lost by Max, and they will take over with the ball pretty set.
By number 78, C.J. Hannebeck. First down, Blue Devils.
C.J. Hannebeck with the recovery. Unfortunately, I think Max was getting hit as he was throwing, and instead he kind of wasn't in the motion of throwing yet, so he was just starting to get set to pitch it up. And unfortunately just could not hang on to it as he was getting dragged down. So it just flew right out of his arm. And it's a turnover going back to the Blue Devils. This has been kind of an up and down game, folks. It feels like it should be a lot closer than it is. But, Conneaut's really answered back when it comes down to it with the red zone defense. And Wrestler is going to hang on to it. He's going to throw kind of deep over the middle. And completed.
Pass complete to number 3, Tyler Miller.
Miller again. He connects with him again on the very first play of the last drive and this drive. That's a first down again for Independence. Moving it up to, they're about at the 10 or the 9-yard line. And it'll be first and goal. They got about 10 seconds left in this quarter. They may get one play off before the fourth. And Rustler's going to keep it, and he's going to lose a couple yards, which is a nice way to end that third quarter. And that'll end the third quarter, folks. Conneaut Spartans 33, Blue Devils 7, but the Blue Devils are driving to start the fourth quarter. Stick around for fourth and more coming up right after this. Just stick around. And we're getting set to start the fourth quarter. If you're just joining us, we're out in Independence, Ohio at Stan Scozen Stadium. And on the first play of the fourth quarter, we're just starting out. First snap, Independence with the ball at the 9-yard line, but looks like a penalty and a false start against Independence. Moving it back 5 to start out this quarter already. They just need to drive to get their second touchdown of the game to try to make this even close. As we're sitting at 33-7, Conneaut's been answering back, and they had their way with Independence in this third quarter. And unfortunately, when Independence is starting to move the ball with some assurance, they've unfortunately a couple times they've shot themselves in the foot with a couple penalties, or a couple misplays, miscues on throws, or how they're designing the play. So that one backs it up 5, so they're now at the 17-yard line. And now it's a timeout call by Independence after the penalty. Got to talk things over a little bit, make sure they're all set up. Rick Adams definitely, he's got to get himself all lined up. Back in the studio, Matt Jarvie and the team that are program directors, they say that the fumble by Max was not legitimate, possibly, and was some forward progress of the arm, but it's pretty close to tell. It's hard to see exactly how he lost the ball, but he was in the motion of throwing it, but it just depends on how he was and how he lost the ball and at what point he actually let it slip out. It was pretty close down in the field. I'm sure they made pretty close to the right call at the time. Looked like, to me, it was a split second. You could probably make that decision one way or the other, but probably was a fumble. Either way, we'll see if it actually ends up coming back to haunt Conneaut at all. Another penalty by Independence, and that backs them up all the way to the 17. So now it's second and goal at the 17. They've got 3 plays to make it 17 yards, folks. And Independence, they've pulled off some great plays, but they've also struggled with some routine plays as well. So we'll see what they call here on that after that timeout. And Wrestler moving to the rolling out right. He's flipping it to Miller, and it's incomplete. broken up by,
Wrestler's pass intended for Tyler Miller, incomplete.
that was Thad Huya with the breakup. And a great game by Thad Huya tonight. I got to give him a lot of props.
ASU on the coverage for Conneaut.
Thad Huya has played a pretty good game overall. He's kicked an extra point. He's caught a pass on offense. He's played pretty good defensively, guarding mostly Tyler Miller and a couple other players in different areas. And that'll bring up 3rd and long, 3rd and goal. And Wrestler's going to flip it over the middle, and he completes it to Sam Crooks, but he's going to be well short.
Wrestler's pass complete to number 6, Sam Crooks.
And that's going to bring up 4th and goal, but he got, I think, past the 10, back to the original line of scrimmage, which is about the 8 or 9. And another timeout call. Oh, official timeout. They're going to mark the spot, or I don't know. So if Independence goes for this, it's really going to make the game close or a blowout, depending on how you look at it, if it really makes any difference at all. With 11:20 left to go in the game, I'm not sure exactly what they're doing a runoff, I think, no matter what, on the clock. They're doing a rolling clock. I think that was the reason for the timeout by the officials, and maybe a spot check too, but I'm not 100% sure. So it's 4th and goal at the 9, folks, and this is definitely a tough play. Resler in shotgun. He's rolling right, and he's running in himself, but he's not going to get there. Good defense.
Ball carrier. First out of bounds by number 2, Ethan Osborne.
Ethan Osborne and Thad Huya making the stop. Ethan Osborne as well had a great game with that big completion for 55 yards. Finally connected with Max, and you know, if Max starts to really just let it rip, I think, you know, it could be like a Jake Slayton and Tellis Andrews connection, which was a great thing to see in the 2020 season. We're going back a few years here, but just an excellent chemistry and just a great dynamic duo, quarterback and receiver. Conneaut did not have their best season that year, but we definitely had some great offensive plays. So Conneaut takes over at the 3-yard line, which is where they lost it. And it looks like Max is keeping the ball and goes up the middle himself. And he picks up a 1st down right out of the gate. And unfortunately, it looks like Independence may only walk away with the 1 touchdown tonight, but time will tell.
Let's hear it for that Blue Devil drum line.
Coming back, we still got all the starters in, it looks like, for the most part. And a wide man left and 3 wide right. And this is going to be a handoff. I'm sorry, a keeper by Max on this sideline.
Gleason, the ball carrier.
Max picks up another 1st down. Actually, looked like he was definitely short, but he gets it. Conneaut Spartans 1st down again. They've just had really little to no issue with getting those 1st downs this week, unlike last week where they needed one in the worst way. They could not get one, and if they did, they'd commit all these sorts of penalties, which really cost them hundreds of yards. And the handoff is to Carrick Dobrin, who's in now replacing Wyatt Payne, who had himself an outstanding game. Carrick Dobrin ends up getting,
Brought down by number 56.
I would say actually it was a loss of a half a yard. So 2nd and 10 and a half. Got about 9:20 left to go in this game, folks. Conneaut 33, Independence 7. And another handoff to Carrick Dobrin coming. I'm sorry, no, it was a keeper, even fooled me. And he's going to that far side. Max gets maybe 6, 5. And,
Number 20, Charlie Puklevic back in for the Blue Devils.
oh, no, he got quite a bit more than that. Looked not as much of a gain. But, you know, Max really fights for all those extra yardage. Even when he's getting dragged down, he drags a couple of these guys with him to get maybe 2 or 3 more. It's very impressive to see this with the strength that Max has. And he's at the 35, and that's bringing up 3rd and 3. And on the keeper again, Max just darts up the middle, and he's got the first down again, folks. Max is just driving this game all the way home. He's just going to make sure that we get this one in safely. A little over 8 minutes left to go. He's just going to keep moving those chains with efficiency, and really right now Independence really has no answer for that. It just seems like Conneaut's line is pretty much having their way with and
Payne, the ball carrier.
Payne's back in, carrying it.
Brought down by Charlie Puklevic.
Puklevic with the stop, who he's been on several defensive plays for Independence, but that was a loss actually of, or I'm not sorry, yes. Yeah, loss of about 2. And Max is going to keep it. No, I'm sorry. The handoff's to Wyatt, and that's going to be another loss. So Wyatt's actually going backwards. Maybe 2 or 3 more. That one was completely blown apart by Beck Christ and Xavier Wilson. Seems like, as I said, there's a lot of speed on this team. And on offense, they definitely utilized that as best they could, but it just seemed like they had no answer up the middle. They're basically all their plays are going to the sidelines, which is where they benefit best, is their speed. But they have no ability to really drive it home on the inside. We've got about 6.5 left to go. Shotgun with Wyatt on one side and Ty on the other. And a timeout. Something. False start on the Spartans. Man, that really gets you down, unfortunately. 3rd and long upcoming, and it was already a long one. Now it's way back. Now it's a 3rd and 20. Ball's at the 30. They have to get to the 50. And another low snap, and Max is going to keep it, and he's trying to fake it, and he flips it. Oh. And he throws it, intended for Wyatt Payne. And it was a wobbler, and just overthrew him as well, too, and was also flushed out of the pocket by Xavier Wilson and number 7, Cy Jolliffe. And so that'll bring up 4th down and 20. So they're going to get someone else out there to punt. We'll see.
Wrestler deep for the Blue Devils.
Who do we got out there? And a good kick. That was Carrick Dobrin. And a fumble down at the 40 on the return.
First down, Blue Devils.
Oh, they get it back, though. Okay. Carrick Dobrin had a pretty good kick, and he might have a future in that. Kind of surprised that he's also a kicker as well as all these other things, also listed as the backup quarterback behind Bryce and Max. And also serves a lot of time as running back, so he's involved in a lot of things. And first down, Blue Devils. They're going to flip this one over. The wrestler throws it out to number 6. That's Sam Crooks. And far sideline, it's a first down for Independence.
Sam Crooks.
Moves it past midfield, and man, the crowd's really starting to funnel out here in the worst way. Still got a lot of time left here on this game too. 33-7, but 5.5 minutes left to go.
Wrestler brought down in the backfield. Ryan Turner on the tackle.
Join us here. We got about 5 minutes left, then we're going to do the quick recap and just some scores around the league. And then the outro, and as well as our American Player of the Game, of course. So I'm kind of mulling over right now. We've got under 5 minutes left, so stick around for that and more. Pass over the middle from Wrestler goes to Sam Crooks. Gets about 5 yards. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 for Independence.
Number 4, Evan Vendetti.
Ball's at the 49. Oh, I'm sorry, the 3rd and 14 rather. And Wrestler's keeping it, rolling out. He gets a whole bunch of yards right here by his own team sideline. And I'm sorry, that was 3rd and 14. He got about 10 yards though, so he's close to the
11-yard gain on the play.
Yep.
He's a 4th and 3 for the Blue
So it's a 4th and 3 upcoming. Blue Devils got to come up with something here to keep the chains moving. I am surprised, though, that defensively we still got all our starters in 2. But they'll probably get them in here, probably depending on how this drive goes. If this is it or not, they might change people out. And a penalty, I think offsides on Conneaut. Yep. I think that might have been Chetty Arcaro. Jumped over, and that's moving up 5 more, so there's your first down that Independence home crowd was pushing for. And a pass to the near sideline. That's to Tyler Miller, who's got an open seam down to about the 15-yard line.
Tyler Wilson.
I think it was Tyler Miller.
Tyler Miller.
There you go. He got it. And he's down about the 10, maybe 11. So, again, it's a tough spot to be in right there. I think they're marking it right at the 10.
Tyler Miller with a 30-yard gain.
Was it a, yeah, it was a good pass, probably about 20 yards, right about the 10, and another float pass from Wrestler, and he might have completed it to the corner.
Wrestler's pass complete to Tyler Miller.
Tyler Miller, who fought off Thad Huya. Thad was trying to fight him off on that one, but Tyler Miller was pretty strong and just fought that ball off, giving Independence their 2nd touchdown of the night. They answered back with a quick 6 with about 3 minutes, 30 seconds left in this game. The home crowd still staying in here as best they can. The band's playing, they're picking up. This one's not over yet, folks. We got 3.5 minutes left to play, and you're going to see a totally different team for Conneaut get out there coming up here. Timeout called by Independence. They've done this a few times now where they call timeout before they kick the play, kick the ball. Maybe they're not going to kick it. They might go for 2. Not sure if that gets them anything, but So it's 33-13. Been a good game overall played by Conneaut. 33 points on offense. They've had hundreds of yards gained. I don't have exact numbers. Maybe I'll get them for you before next week. Or Coach Rocco and Matt will hit them, touch on them in the coaches show before Chagrin Falls. But it's been a very productive day on offense for Conneaut for sure. And now Independence getting their second touchdown back. Oh, and they're going spread here. This is unusual. They have no one on the line. They have just one guy on center, and they're trying some type of trick play. And it might have got it, and it looks like in for two. They get it finally here. That was Rocco Wrestler. He's been pretty much the star for this team. Him and Xavier Wilson. Tyler Miller, Sam Crooks, but they really only have a few guys really of weapons, but they have a lot of speed, and Wrestler definitely has a lot of strength. So it's been a good game for those guys. They got to be pretty happy with it, and making it 33-15, where the game stands currently. And as I just mentioned a little bit ago, too, of course, join us right after this as well, too, for the Dairy Queen Player of the Game announcement, as well as an overall recap of the game, and just touch on some scores around the league as far as see what's going on with that Menor game, and maybe anything else that I have. Chagrin Falls was 2-0 with wins over Berkshire and Beechwood, but it's all Kenston tonight on another update. 48-0 at half. We don't know what's happened since then. Maybe we'll get one before we get to that point. So we mentioned about Independence. Oh, and they on the kick. They recovered the onside kick. That was kicked by, that was 86. That was Jamie Panici. Caught Conneaut napping with 3:24. See, as I said, it's not over yet, folks. Independence pretty hardy. They're going to keep pushing here and try to get as many opportunities as they can. We'll see how many attempts it takes them to get down. They're going to get the ball at the 38. So we'll see if Conneaut's defense can hold them there or not. They got some, looks like some new guys in for Conneaut. They got Ben Griswold, Mason Pratelli, sorry, not Pratley. And they got Noah Ham playing at corner, kind of relieving Thad Huya. So they got some guys, I believe, checked in, relieving Conneaut's line and a couple others. So we'll see exactly how they hold off the starting 11 for Independence, because they got all their starters in still. And Wrestler dropping back, and he's going to throw it over the middle, and he throws it way too high for Crooks.
Pass intended for Sam Crooks, incomplete.
And that's incomplete. Second down upcoming. The coverage man was number 22. That's Bradley Agnew. Called his name a few times tonight. Pretty tall guy, 6'3", 170. Playing pretty, quite a bit in his junior year tonight, and played a pretty good game, I'd got to say. Got to give him props. I got to give Thad Huya a lot of props on defense, just as a balanced attack, kicking on special teams, offense, catching a couple passes. And second down, Wrestler throwing it deep, and it's picked off by Noah Ham. And Noah Ham's going to get the ball right back, and he goes right down.
The Wrestler's pass intercepted by number 11, Noah Ham.
Noah Ham just cuts him right off there, and that's where Conneaut will take right back over with a little over 3 minutes left to go. We'll see how Conneaut answers back on offense and who's out there for the Spartans. Yeah, they got a whole new line out there. Priatelli, looks like Silas Deal. I'm sorry, or is it 55? Drew Rudler. And yeah, just a totally new list of guys. And the handoff. Number 15 is playing quarterback. That's Colby Stiltner. We've seen him a little bit thrown around on the practice field and stuff like that. Talking about him in JV, but he's the future of this team. Him and Karen Dobrin. So it's anyone's question, I guess, who's going to relieve Max at quarterback. Max and Bryce are both graduating this year, so you're going to need someone next year to step up. Most likely, it's either going to be Carrick Dobrin or Stiltner. Stiltner being a sophomore this year, junior next year, and Carrick as well, going into his junior year next year as well. So it'll be probably a competition between those two guys for the 2024 season. And the handoff is a big one, and pushing ahead, I believe, is Carrick Dobrin, but I'm not even sure if that's who it was. No, I'm sorry, it's number 24. Isaiah Bowles. Seen him a couple times too. Quick as can be, and fought for every yard he could there. And a first down for Conneaut, a big one too. Just a little over 2 minutes left to go in this game, folks. 33-15. We're right in this thing. And first down, Conneaut, and Bowles again with a carry, and he's pushing ahead. Finally dragged down by a couple Blue Devils. Number 40, that is Wilson. Yeah. Josh Luciano and Xavier Wilson. So they got their starters in pretty much still for Independence. Conneaut's pretty much gone to all their JV squad. Rightly so. You gotta just not get anyone injured. You had a scare tonight with Bryce, so you got to keep everyone intact for next week's game. And a handoff again, pushing ahead, Bowles.
Bowles the ball carrier.
Dragged down by number 59. Ronan Chatter. And that's bringing up another first down for Conneaut. Ball's at the 47. Like to see Stiltner try to throw a couple passes in at shotgun with Bowles on his left hip. And it looked like definitely a false start against the near side here is number 3. Brady Vera, who's playing wide receiver.
Hey, Blue Devil fans, next Friday at 7 p.m. Blue Devils take
Wearing Zach Rice's old jersey number 3. Brady Vera. And we got about 30 seconds left, folks, so this might be the last play of the game. Going to try one pass play here by Stiltner. with a wide set. And I'm sorry, no, he's just going to hand it off, and it's going to go for negative yardage with the carry. Woof, and a hard tackle. Looked like you're pushing for every inch. Devin Fogel running the last play of the game. And that'll do it for us, folks. Conneaut wins this one in stupendous fashion. They really dominated on both sides of the ball. On offense, they really had a lot of things rolling tonight. Just to touch upon the game, it was an excellent game on all sides. Independence really showed signs of strong flash, but they really could not answer down at the red zone, so they had no other way to really get back and handle it and score in the end zone. So Independence really struggled to get a couple touchdowns. They only got 2 tonight, which put them at 15. And so right now we're just going to give the ball, the Dairy Queen Player of the Game honors to Wyatt Payne, who had 3 touchdowns tonight, had a tremendous game, 200 yards rushing, really dominated overall, played great on offense. Just really the guy that we're going to lean on in these hardy games where we have to run the ball in order to win. And that's what we did. We opened it up a little bit more in passing. Max actually had his first passing touchdown of the year, a 55-yard connection, Ethan Osborne. So we finally pulled that one off tonight. And other than that, we had a couple other passes as well, too, connected to Thad Huya, Bryce Sperlin. So we really got the ball moving. Noah Ham caught a pass. So we got it moving pretty well tonight, folks. Max had at least 50 to 60, or I'm sorry, over 100 yards. I was going to say 50 to 60 yards, not including the 55-yard pass. So over 100 yards passing tonight with the connection to Ethan. So overall, it was a great night passing for him, so I'm proud of that, as well as close to 100 yards, I believe, on the ground, if not more. So a great overall multi-purpose game for him as usual. Wyatt, though, was just next level tonight and really took care of business for us. 3 touchdowns tonight, spread across the first and the third quarters. Ty Koval had a touchdown tonight, and then the touchdown by Ethan Osborne for the 55-yard pass. There's your 5 for Conneaut, leaving it at 33-15 tonight. It was a great game for Conneaut overall on both sides of the ball. Defensively, Thad Huya played very well. I got to give him honors and mentions. Definitely, I considered him strongly for player of the game as well. He gave up that one last touchdown to Tyler Miller playing defense, but I think he held Tyler Miller in check until just a couple big plays there, unfortunately. But he played very well, breaking up a lot of passes. On offense, he caught a couple passes. He made an extra point kick when Bryce Sperlin was sitting because of the leg injury. Bryce Sperlin had a good game, but he was out with that really bad scare, then came back to finish the game at kicking. Did not really play any offense, a little bit more than that, but was used sparingly otherwise. Pretty good game by overall everyone. The JV squad as well, too. Carrick Dobrin, Isaiah Bowles. So they played very well, so we're interested to see. And the offensive line did really well tonight. Gavin Nesbitt, Jaden Anderson back out there tonight. Big honorable mention as well to him for coming back out there. Played a very good game. Ryan Turner struggled at times to make a couple snaps. A lot of low snaps tonight, which cost Conneaut a few things here and there, the missed extra point. But I think those things can be easily worked out. Scotty Edwards, really the heart of that offensive line, and really stepped up, and he could have been Dairy Queen Player of the Game for sure as well, too, and I'm sure we will get to him, I'm sure, at some point this year. Chetty Arcaro had another sack, and he's been dominant on defense, so we got to give him some props. Overall, Conneaut played well, just a good game overall, answer back from last week. They go to 2-1 on the year so far. They played a very strong game tonight. So we got to give them some props, and let's go over some scores around the league. As I just mentioned, Dairy Queen Player of the Game was Wyatt Payne. And scores around the league, Menor over top of Riverside, 31-27. So that one is a close one. I'm not sure if it's decided, but 31, Menor has the edge right now. Beaver over top of Jefferson, 43-0. Edgewood all over Harvey tonight, 42-18. Geneva with an edge over Springfield Local, 21-14. Chardon over top of Avon Lake, 28-10. Kenston over top of Chagrin Falls at half, 48-0. So I think that one's pretty much in the books. Kenston's pretty much knocking that one right out. South Range just beat up on JFK tonight, folks, 41-3. JFK did not really have an answer. They're not as dominant as they were a few years back. Grove City well over top of Northwestern tonight, 62-7. Pymatuning soared over Grand Valley, 30-0. Perry shut down Kirkland, 24-6. Mercier's Prep beat up on Slippery Rock, 49-7. And McDowell gave it to Barberton, 52-20. Rootstown finished off Field from Mogador, 14-7, low-scoring game. Hickory beat up on Franklin, 63-14. Ursuline took care of business and blanked Lakeside, 50-0. Cuyahoga Heights took care of Berkshire, 27-14. And Steubenville took care of Cardinal Mooney, 21-14. And that's really all I have tonight, folks. So we'll be looking to see Chagrin Falls. They're 2-0, but they got blanked tonight against Kenston, 48-0. Seems like we have the final score, but we're not sure if that's it or not unofficially. So next week we'll update you, but most likely we will have some type of game streamed and on the radio as well too. Conneaut Spartans go to 2-1 on the year, and unfortunately Independence goes to 0-3 on this loss. From everyone here, Ben Jarvie, Ann Jarvie, Megan Lebzelder back in the studio, Matt Jarvie, program manager, program director. Everyone here, thanks so much, everyone. Have a good night from Independence, Ohio. Stan Scozen Stadium, Conneaut 33, Independence Blue Devils 15 on the Conneaut Spartans Radio Network, 1360 WOW, 102.9 FM, and WOW Sports.
Conneaut Spartans basketball on WOW TV, 1360 and WOW 102.9, and always free. Lake Effect Media and Spartan Nation present Conneaut Spartans football on WOW TV, 1360 AM and WOW 102.9, and always free. Brought to you by your great Spartan sponsors. Conneaut Dairy Queen. Enjoy lunch, dinner, or a cool treat soon at your Conneaut DQ. Chris Breck State Farm Insurance. Here to help life go right. Conneaut Savings Bank. Come grow with us in Conneaut and Austinburg. University Hospital Conneaut Medical Center, advancing the science of health and the art of compassion. Conneaut Save-A-Lot Food Store, not lower quality, just the lowest prices every day. And Gertis Pharmacy, family owned for over 60 years on Main Street, Conneaut.